Hi, Grand Rising, Kingdom greetings, great awakening. Yes, welcome to the transitioning table. Uh, I am so happy to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for your continuous support and coming in and hearing what the Most High or Divine Creator has to say or downloads in me, or even just sometimes what are some inspirations that I may get while I'm here and I come and share it with you as we continue transition. Well, no matter what the transition is that you're in, we are continuously transitioning from one thing or the other. The other thing I always say too is change is consistent, and that's the one thing that we know. Every day there is change. We change from one day to the next day, but change is consistent and change is continuous. So, welcome to the transitioning table. And I thank the Most High, thank the Divine Creator, thank Guy, Source, whatever you choose to thank, whomever you choose to thank. The name that you choose to give to the Divine Creator. I am eternally grateful for my space and my time here. Yeah. So I want to come and share with you. CME to Mama Cheryl and Thai Bogosi. Yes, good to have each and every one of you here with me. As you see, the title is Relearning How to Live Together in Harmony, or what it is harmony, therefore, the synonym, I guess, as an agreement. How do we live in agreement? How do we agree to disagree? How do we agree in a system going forward? How do we agree and able to um, be able to accomplish some things that we need to accomplish? And I recant that statement, agree to disagree, because harmony is all about balance, seeing everything from everyone's perspective from a 365 degree versus only seeing it from a 180. And so that's what I believe, that in terms of living in harmony, learning how, relearning. Because when I say relearning, because one time ago we used to live together in harmony. We used to live together, work together, and cultivate. We used to say it takes a village to raise a child. Yes. Nzuri sana. It takes a village to raise a child. And so when we say it takes a village to raise a child, literally, not just a child in terms of size and age, but even a child in terms of mentality, because we could have people that are 50 and 60 years old and still in that child stage, in that place where they probably being damaged or hurt or bruised or whatever have you. So you might be 40 and still lacking like you're 12, because that may be the place where the trauma had taken place. So yeah, it takes us all working together collectively to bring about the change that we want to see. It is not a one person, one man show, just Superman and that's it, or just Captain Planet and that's it, just Batman and that's it. No, it takes the collective of a community to bring about a change, a collective of bodies of persons of like-mindedness to bring about the change that they want to see. Because think about it. In order for them to split the continent, to divide the continent the way they divided the continent, they had to come together collectively, sit down at a table called the Berlin Conference. Yep. They had to sit down collectively and come to an agreement. They may have taken some days, some weeks to get there, but they got there and they sat and they had an agreement. This is what we're going to do. Britain, you're going to take this. Portuguese, you're going to take this. Germany, you're going to take this. France, you're going to take this. They made an agreement. So why is it for us that and they did the divide and conquer, and they put in the boundaries and the borders that they call them, and they make everyone have to get a visa to go to the one continent. but you got to get 54 visas. I mean, there are some countries that don't require you to get visa, but every country got a visa in order to enter their borders. Every country requires you to get your passport stamp, even if you don't get a visa. You got to get that passport stamp to say when you entered and when you're going to exit. And they give you a period of time to come in and a period of time you got to leave. And if you don't, then anyway, it's just so sad. So, but there was a time when we lived together in harmony. We lived together in agreement. We lived together in knowing, and how we had our system. And I think that this is where the Most High, the Divine, is now leading us once again to be able to relearn. We have to relearn, because in hundreds of years since we've been separated and isolated, whether it's in the Bahamas or in Jamaica or Haiti or Barbados or the Americas or New Zealand, wherever it is, we've been scattered or we've been shipped out and all this different stuff, or just maybe some of us born and whatever had raised. So that unity was around for some of us, but many of us grew up in what they call apartment complex and projects and stuff like that. And they are communities too, but there again, there was no agreement. There was no togetherness. You in your small corner and I in mine. I do in me and you do you. You know, and that's how it became. So the thing of a community and a village, raising everybody's children, everybody being able to share and go to the neighbor for a cup of sugar or some salt or onion or you want a potato, those days gone. And so we need to relearn. I grew up in an environment. Whereas my mom was the spearheader of the one who, would go to the wholesale shopping and make sure every neighbor has a little something she made. She put a package together and take this to this one, take this to the next one, and made sure. So we had somewhat of a community kind of concept going on. And so the Most High, the Divine Creator, in us moving forward and forging forward, we need to relearn how to live together in harmony. We got to relearn this thing because we've been so isolated and me, myself, and I, or me and my family kind of mentality. And because you killed my dog, I killed your cat. And because I've been having to do this all on my own, or because I'm divorced, or because I never been married, all of these issues and isms and schisms has become a divide. And we need to now unlearn and relearn. How do we unlearn the divide kind of mentality? It's all about me and what I need and what I want. And I have 100,000 and this person only got $10, and I don't care whether that person with that $10 eat or drink, because I got my 100,000 and it's all, and I comfortable and I happy and that's it. You know, we gotta get that. That's a mentality that was imposed on us. That's a mentality that imposed on us because, oh, you know that they tell, oh my gosh. A church mentality. If you don't work, you can't eat. That's the scripture they give us. By the sweat of your eyebrow, you eat bread. So much family. We have to unlearn. We got to get off that seat, that throne of that judgment mentality, judging people exteriorly or judge. And let me tell you something, a lot of the judgment that we are judging people from is our own personal experience. because we had this experience with someone else, and because now the new person is doing some things similar to what the other person did or is doing, we come to the conclusion they are all the same. They can do the same thing the other person did. So without giving a chance or an opportunity, we shut that person out, we condemn them, we judge them, and we push them in a corner or in a category, and we leave them there, never giving them an opportunity or chance. And so it's time to relearn how to live together in harmony, in agreement. So the first thing in relearning, um, what it looks like to have a community or build a community, what it looks like to live in harmony in a community where everybody have all things common, that nobody is suffering lack. Everyone has something to eat. Everyone has some place to lay their head. Everybody has an opportunity to learn whatever it is they want to learn. What does that look like in harmony? That we, as a community, something to think about. I think a lot of us need to start scripting for our own self, not so much for the collective, but for ourselves. What does a community look like to you personally? When you think of a community, what does that look like to you? What does it feel like to you? What does it sound like to you? What do you envision a community being? What's your vision for a community? Ask yourself that question. Pen it down. Write. Write the vision down. Write what you think, what you feel, you imagine a community should look like. How in that community you can live in harmony, live in oneness. How in that community we can live in agreement. Next thing in relearning how to live together in a community, live together in harmony. First is, what does it look like to live together in a community in harmony? Then family. What how living together in harmony looks like as a family. You may not have any children yet. You may not have any spouse yet. But what does it look like? Living in harmony with a family. See, I can give you what I feel, what it looks like to me, but you now need to think, unlearn, and relearn what a family looks like living together in harmony. What does that look like to you? What does the conversation feel like? A wife talking to a husband, husband speaking to his wife, parents dealing with their children, how it feels with your in-laws, how it feels with your siblings. That's family. And then, strangers who become friends, who became family. Because now you're going from community, you're taking it personal now. From a community, the wider, broader neighbors and all that different stuff. Personalizing it, your family, your household. What does that look like living in unity? Living in harmony, living together, being able to share a 10-bedroom, 10-bath house, more than just you one, more than you just looking out for yourself. What does that look like? What does that feel like? I know probably prior you may have never gotten along with your siblings, and you may have never gotten along, with your parents. You may have never gotten along with your spouse. You may never gotten along with your children. But how do you relearn and unlearn those negative behaviors, or what we consider negative behaviors, and turn it positive? How do we revisit family structure, bringing the family together to be in harmony? Could you live in a community where it is your family, your sisters, your next door neighbor, your brother live down the street, your niece live, you understand, on the corner, your nephew lives someplace else, your son, all of you living in a 5-7 acre perimeter together? What does a family structure look like? Yeah, I understand that, living in harmony with yourself. But now, what if you have to now think, what if I'm thrust into this place now that I got to live with my family, where if things start to shut down, and my family is all I have, and we all got to come together and live in one house? That's why we got to come back to the unlearning, so we could relearn. We got to unlearn some things, and relearn how to. Yep. The next thing in relearning how to live together in harmony is the barter system. How are you with sharing? How are you with sharing? The barter system is all about sharing and giving equal portions. And let me say equal portion. Let me don't say that, because, okay, say you're living in a community, you're living among family now, and now you have the barter system. Let's say this, because let's be fair. You have to learn how to give and take. Say you are a family of 4, husband, wife, 2 children. But down the street has a family of 6, husband, wife, 4 children. Across the street have a family of 10. How in a community, among a family, you now have a barter system? Because a family with 10 will need more than the family with 2. The family with 6, you see what I'm saying, will need less than the family with 10. How in a community? Because, see, these are the things you have to start thinking about now. You can't say you want to be a part of a community. You can't say you want to be a part of a family, and then you're still thinking in a selfish way, whereas, there's 10 oranges, and you want to split the 10 oranges 5-5. When there's only 4 people inside your house and 6 people in the next house. Shouldn't it be 4, 6? No, I ain't giving them more than me. I put the same amount of effort, and I say put the same amount of money in. You see? That's a selfish thinking. What about a family with 10? Do you gotta buy a sack of tomatoes, and because you're a family of 4, you feel like you should have the same amount the family of 10 has, when there's more mouth in that family of 10 to feed? versus your family with family of four. We got to start thinking, oh, I want a community, and oh, I want to build a family, and oh, but unless you decide that you're going to go into a community whereas every house is only one person, or you build in a community whereas every house has only four people inside of it, then that may work for you. But if you go in and you build in a community and you're the only person in your house, and then there's 5 people in another house and 10 people in another house, and you want same amount in the barter system as the other houses. Yeah. See? These are all some of the things the Most High, the Divine Creator, have been having me to think about. How do we share when it comes to living in a community? And each house is diverse in terms of size and amount of people that are living in it. Oh, no, everybody should have the same equal amount. But there again, if you have the same equal amount, and that means another family is going to be with less because they have more mouths to feed, and then I'll freeze them and I would puree them and I would do the next. Then what we should do is we should puree or preserve everything and then share it. A barter system. We need to relearn how to live together and have a very good barter system. Yeah. Because I could hear the selfishness. No, I want the same amount as everybody else, even though it's one person in the house. Just you one inside your house. And you want the same amount as the person with 10 people inside their house. How's it going to work? Then the people that 10 inside the house, when they run out, they got to come to you with who's the one person inside the house and borrow from you or ask you to give. I can't even say borrow because it's a community. We're talking about building a community, relearning how to live together in harmony. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Learning how to live together in harmony, in agreement with a barter system. That everyone, no one would suffer lack. Everyone would have enough to feed themselves. You see? So it's something to think about, family. So I just wanted to come and do this very short and quick video in terms of relearning how to live together in harmony or in agreement in a community. We have to. Because I'm hearing community, even from me. I'm not sharing something with you that I myself am not partaker in terms of how now when I'm putting this community together, how are we going to equally distribute when we got crops grown, when we got livestock? How are we going to equally distribute among ourselves when there's only one person living in a house, there's 10 people living in a house, there's 4 people living in a house, you see, every household has a different amount of people living in it. How do we equally distribute among ourselves that everyone has enough to sustain their households for the number of people that are in their households? So if we ain't ready to live together in harmony and share equally among ourselves, it means to say share equally, because sharing equally to somebody else means I just have just as much as what they have in the house of 10 is the same amount I should have in a house with one person. No, I don't think that should. When it comes to that barter system, or when it comes to using the barter system, Because the barter system is when we share it. If you have cows and I have chicken, I want a piece of beef and you want some eggs or stuff like that. In terms of if we're harvesting, if we grow and farm, we doing farming together. How do we share the crops when it comes to time to harvest? Whether it's maize, which is corn, whether it's beans, whether it's greens, whether it's cabbages or carrots or tomatoes or bell peppers. How do we distribute it among ourselves in a community, in harmony, in love, in agreement, when our households are diverse in terms of size? Something to think about. Something to think about. So because we have an abundance in cabbage, remember now, the house got 10. Because that house have 10, should you take 10 because they have 10? And it's only you one in that house? I don't think so. Yes. We should share according to the number of people that are in our households, that everyone be able to eat, everyone be able to be comfortable, everyone will be able to live in unity and in harmony. Everybody will be able to fellowship and nobody will have hard feelings and feel neglected or left out or unwanted or uncomfortable because they got 10 people in their house and that person only have one, or they only have two, or they only have four, or this one have six. You see, we have to relearn how to live together in harmony, in unity. We must check ourselves. Where are we mentally? Where are we spiritually? Where are we emotionally? Because if you still have that I, a community is not the best place for you. The I mentality got to be someplace else until the I calm down and understand it's we, it's us. We are in this together. Yes, one person may spearhead and but when it comes to distribution and helping, we need to be fair and equal and conscious of how we are sharing with one another, how we are dealing with one another when it comes to community. So, family, I thank you so much for listening in. I look forward to hearing your feedback, but most importantly, I need you to start thinking. If you're thinking about living in a community and building a community, if you're thinking community minded, what does that look like to you? What does that feel like to you? Even before you get in that community, you need to start being a community, practicing it until it's manifested as actually happening, and we are all living in, what do you call it? Gated community. Family. Family. What does that look like? Living together with family. What does that look like? Yes, you may not have had the best of relationship with your brother or with your sister. But what does it look like now that you've had a mind change, a heart change? Are you still at odds? Oh, let them stay there and I can stay here. I don't see us coming together. Time to learn how to accept people for who they are in their idiosyncrasies. I'm not you and you're not me. I will never be you and you will never be me. So I have to be able to accept you for who you are. But a lot of times we can accept a stranger, some of us, quicker than we accept our very own family. Yeah. Oh, because I grew up with them and this is how they treated me. And oh, this one have like some of it like to say, stinking nasty ways. But the other person showing you the nice side of them right now, but you don't know the other part of them, how they were with their family. Anyway, that's all I wanted to come. Prick your heart, prick your mind to think. What does it look like? How? How will it be to live together in harmony in a community with family, with having a barter system? What does that look like? How does that feel? Start writing it down. Start checking yourself and reevaluating yourself, making sure that you are community minded and you are community ready. And even if you're not completely ready, you're working towards it. Yeah? You're working towards it. You're working on yourself like living legend with Namasharo says. You're working towards, you're working on yourself. You're doing some shadow work, they call it. You're doing some self-healing and stuff like that. You're healing from those traumas and stuff like that. So as you prepare yourself to come and live in a community, you'll be an asset and not a liability. Hmm? Yeah. So take care of yourself until next time. Let us continue to live life on purpose, with purpose, by purpose, and for purpose. And listen, we are on a journey. So let us be gentle with ourselves. Much love, family. Take care of yourself.